run-for-profit private organization.
This is everything. Instead of our economy being about goods and services and real products and manufacturing, it's all about these guys, the private Federal Reserve that masquerades as a government entity who controls the issuance of currency and credit. They're the ones that have cut off the liquidity in the market. They told us have a debt-based economy. Then they cut it off once they get us under their thumb and implode the economy so they can consolidate it. That's what they're doing right now. I mean, it's in their own documents, it's in their own statements.
This is fake money. It's phantom money printed out of thin air, backed by nothing, and not worth the digital money. It's not digital paper, it's not printed on. So we're going to see this collapse as the stimulus collapses. That's what happened in Europe as they started to unwind the stimulus, as they attempted to raise interest rates. The economies start to fail. We're going to see it in Spain. We're going to see it in Portugal. We already see it in Latvia, the Ukraine, in Hungary, in Ireland. It's going global. There's no stopping it, and the people are going to revolt. This is a classic example of what happens throughout history.
So they make money out of creating and running ghettos. They make money out of financial terrorism. When these markets crash, they make billions. Hank Paulson and his crew made billions on the bailout in 2008. This is the way you conduct financial terrorism. And all the money that Obama has been spending to fight so-called terrorism elsewhere in the world, he would do the world a great big favor by going down to Wall Street, arresting the financial terrorists, and throwing them in Guantanamo Bay and having them tortured, of course, because of their crimes against humanity.
Does the government work for us, or do we work for the government? Are the freedoms that are guaranteed by the Constitution truly guaranteed, or are they subject to the whims of politicians and bureaucrats and secret central bankers? Tonight, what on earth has the government done to our money? A famous central banker once said, quote, "If you give me control of a nation's monetary system, then I care not who writes its laws."
They should never, ever have joined the euro. They suffered with low interest rates, a false boom and a massive bust. But look at your response to them. What they're being told, as their government's collapsing, is that it would be inappropriate for them to have a general election. In fact, Commissioner Wren here said they had to agree their budget first before they'd be allowed to have a general election. Just who the hell do you think you people are? You are very, very dangerous people indeed. Your obsession with creating this Euro state means that you're happy to destroy democracy. You appear to be happy for millions and millions of people to be unemployed and to be poor. Untold millions must suffer so that your Euro dream can continue. Well, it won't work.
When are we going to get smart and wake up and figure out that these guys all need to be fired, tried, hung, burnt, and gotten the way out there? They're all freaking terrorists! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? They're holding a gun to your head in the U.S. and in Britain and in Western Europe, and you're sitting there playing with your bud!
There is a political system orchestrated, created, and controlled to this day by the Rothschilds called Zionism. It is a tyrannical system which has no mercy on anyone that gets in its way. And what they've done brilliantly is to equate a political belief with a race, so when you challenge the political belief and what it does, you are called a racist. I don't care. It's about time somebody talked about this stuff and stopped being frightened of it. And if people realized Zionism is the creation of the Rothschild family, who are a major, major Illuminati family, along with many others, and interact with very closely in many ways with the Rockefellers. It was the Rothschilds who spent millions, £6 million pounds back in the 50s to build the Knesset, the Israeli parliament. It was the Rothschilds who built the Supreme Court in Jerusalem, with all its massive Illuminati symbolism, which is well shown on the internet. This is a fiefdom of the Rothschilds, and Zionism has caused more mayhem and strife for Jewish people as anybody else. Why is there no peace in Israel? Because for Jewish people as well as Palestinians, because Zionism doesn't want it. That's why. because there are plans to use Israel and use the Jewish people in Israel to manifest a massive conflict which will lead to a third world war, which is what these guys are after. Zionism is a political system. It is not a race. And there are many, many Jewish people, look at these alone, who fundamentally oppose Zionism. And this is why you're getting the policy of Obama saying Palestinian refugees belong to their own state and do not have a literal right to return to Israel. He's talking about the people who fled, 800,000 of them, at the time of the bombing Israel into existence in 1948, and have never allowed to come back to their own land. People forget about this. White phosphorus, pepper bombing, the most crowded piece of land on the planet, the Gaza Strip. We don't target civilians, we just bomb where they live. Unbelievable. We're just protecting ourselves. No, it's a slaughter. And now I'm hearing, oh, there's a lot of anti-Israeli sentiment. Do you know something? I have a way around that. Stop slaughtering innocent people from the sky, okay? End of story. And it will go away.
What's happening in the Middle East, and in particular with Gaza right now, we have some moral responsibility for both sides in a way, because we provide help and funding for both Arab nations and Israel. And so we definitely have a moral responsibility, and especially now today, the weapons being used to kill so many Palestinians are American weapons, and American funds essentially are being used for this.
We cannot truly celebrate a new year, a new Congress, and a new administration if all we see is the same old destruction in the Middle East, with U.S. weapons being illegally used to kill children. I oppose Hamas's rocket attacks on Israel. The rocket attacks, even to try to end the blockade, have no moral justification, are illegal, and must stop. But how can Israel claim self-defense when it bombs Gaza, which has no army, no air force, no navy, and has been under a constant blockade? How can Israel claim self-defense when its bombs destroy UN schools, killing children? The children of Palestinians and the children of Israel both deserve life. But the lives of the children of Gaza are cynically discounted as human shields. Massacres are being rationalized. Israel's moral high ground in Gaza, a growing pile of small bones in a graveyard.
We're about to stop filming when a young girl who has been silent raises her hand and says she has something she wants to say.
احنا بدناش نعمل سلام مع اليهود لانه اليهود هم يعني خلوا امي وابوي يستشهدوا يعني قطعوا قلبي لما شفت امي وابوي يعني قاعدين بيستشهدوا قدامي وامي راح نص راسها وابويا يعني راسه طلع عقله من راسه وتصاب بخصرته وتصاب برجله بعد هيك يعني كله اخويا صلاح قال يلا امشي نطلع برا انا تمتني حاسه حالي لقيت بقفص لانه انا امي وابويا مش عندي.
But the reality is you could die. Are you prepared to accept that?
I'm more fearful of not living my life and exercising my humanity than I am dying, and I would rather live a long life, and if I have a choice, I will, but not at the expense of watching the world that I love and people that I love around the world being destroyed before my eyes. So if it's necessary for me to die for what I believe in, then so be it. But I would like to see a better world, a sane world, where everybody had the same opportunities that I had, and for that I will give the United States some credit. And I'd like to make it clear to the American people that it is not my gripe with you. I very much want the best for America, and believe it or not, for those of you who would think that I'm doing this as a means of anti-Americanism, that's exactly untrue. I very much love America and want the best for it.
It's not a religious conflict. That's a Zionist ploy of accusing everybody of being anti-Semitic. You want peace. You want to have a conference here of peace. Step back and look and read the facts. Not the facts that's been misconstrued by the Zionist propaganda. The facts that are realities. The facts on the ground. How we've been living for hundreds of years in Yemen, in Morocco, in Tunisia, in Palestine, in Egypt. What Arab lands have not Jewish people been living together with Muslims without any human rights groups? Tell me what fair the Jews did not live in harmony with the Muslims. In Iran, we have over 25,000 Jews there, thank God. Why? Because this is not a religious conflict. It's purely because of a political movement, a relatively new movement, which is antithetical, contradictory to the Jewish religion of thousands of years.
These hate laws, which say you can't say this, you can't say that because that's prejudice and all that, they're not there to protect gay people. Everyone to their own, I say. I can care less. They're not there to protect Jewish people or minorities. They're there simply to stop legitimate investigation of the Rothschilds and its network. That's what they're there for. And they are in so many ways the Rothschilds. At operational level, the center of the spider's web. And they need to be exposed, because if they get exposed and they go, when I say go, they are removed from their positions of power. Because, to be honest, if they went to jail for what they have been responsible for, the House of Rothschild, they would have to reincarnate hundreds of times to complete the sentence.